Welcome back. Let's talk about lambda expression. Lambda expressions are Python functions which are anonymous. They have no names and does not use the def keyword. It takes in any number of arguments but returns only one expression. The syntax for lambda is lambda, then you put an argument or arguments, and then just an expression. Let's take an example. This is a typical function. I'm going to uncomment it, and you can see this function, the name of this function is greet, and it takes in an argument called day, and then it prints out good day. So whatever you put here is going to be what it prints out. So I'm going to run the function. Running the function, I'm calling greet and then I'm putting morning. So I expect it to give me good morning. So if you look at the output here, it's showing good morning. Now let's take an example of this using a lambda expression. So I'm going to comment this out, and then I'll declare a variable called greet, and then I'll write a lambda expression. Lambda, and then I'll put the argument. The argument is day, then a column, just like the syntax indicates. I'll put the column and then the expression. This is the expression. The expression is print good, then the argument good day. So if I run this code just the same way I ran this code, if I run this code, I'll say greet and put say afternoon. It's going to put, the output will be good afternoon. This code is the same thing as this commented code. The function here is what this lambda expression does, and then you run it and then it gives you the same result. Lambda expression can also take in multiple arguments. Let's do an example where we have an expression that sums two numbers. So I'm going to create the variable called sum, and I'll call a lambda expression that takes in two arguments, a and b, and then I'm gonna add those. So this is gonna be a column. Then I'm gonna add the two arguments. So if I run this, the sum function, and say 12 and 15, and then I print it out. I print out the result of this. It's going to show me 27. So I'm putting in two variables and it's summing the variables. I can change the number, whatever number is going to sum it for you. Good programming practice. Lambda function should not be assigned to a variable because lambda is meant to be an anonymous function which is used only once. So in this instance, we should just run this as a scalar function. And this is what we do. We call the lambda function. Let me comment this out. We call the lambda function and pass in the variable. We put the lambda function in a bracket and pass in the variable at the end. This takes in two variables, so I can say 15 and 10. So because it's an anonymous function, we shouldn't be passing it into a variable. So this is a right way to call a lambda function. Now, if I print this out now, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to give me the same result. 15 plus 10 is going to be 25. This is expressing lambda expression on a scalar value. Lambda expressions are used a lot with Python functions that takes in a function. An example of such function is the filter function. The filter function returns value that is true in an expression. The example we're going to show you is how the filter function works, and we're going to put in the lambda expression in it. The filter function takes in a function and an iterable. Using the filter function, we're going to do an example that will filter a list and return the value that are less than 30. Let's put a list here. This is list 1. The variables list 1 is a list, and then we'll use the filter function to filter the list. So we'll say filter, and right in the filter we're going to put in a function, and that function will be the anonymous lambda expression. So we have lambda expression is going to take in a value and check if the value is less than 30. And of course, it's going to run through an iterable, that is, it's going to check all these values to see if they are less than 30. So the iterable is list 1. So you can see from here, we are not assigning the lambda expression to a variable. We're just putting it in as an anonymous one value function, and we're passing it into a filter function. Of course, the result of a filter function, we can get it out. It returns an iterable. Let me call it F1. And to see the content of the F1, I'm going to say you should print out F1 in a list. So right now you can see F1, I have all this passed in, and it only checked all the values that are less than 30. So the result here is 23 and 12. If I change it to 20, less than 20, the result is 12. So whatever value you change it to is going to give you the result. So I'm putting in the lambda function right inside my filter function.